Hello everybody and welcome to this video of myself and Peter. And we are here to look at the Backun Q series clarinet. So this is in their professional range, but it sits below the custom Lumiere and the Moba. But I think it's important to note that a lot of the design principles and sort of processes flow downstream, shall we say, don't they, from the Lumiere and the Moba, but just with some slightly less complex or less numbered processes within the shaping of the bore and things like that. But it's very much of that school still. So price-wise, it's sort of pitched between, if we're using another branded Buffet R13 to R13 Prestige, Yamaha CSG kind of area, just gives you some idea of where it's aimed at. It's that kind of upper intermediate professional level. Yeah. I mean, it's really professional, I should say. But it's maybe something if you want that Backun kind of feel and sound, but the Moba and the Lumiere might be just a little bit above price-wise. But there's quite a few things on the spec which we'll get into in a second. But I think maybe before we do that, Pete, do you want to just give it a little bit of a blow and let's see what it does? So it's still got that Backun evenness of tone, I would say. But this model's only available in the grenadilla wood with silver keys. And that grenadilla wood tends to give a little bit more direction and brightness and ping.
Yeah, there's definitely ping in this one in comparison to the grenadilla Moba.
Yeah, and so I think if you're looking for something with some good projection, then the Q series would be right up your street. A couple of bits of spec, and then we'll get a little bit more from Pete about it as well. We mentioned that some of the design principles flow down from the custom level. So they have the inline side keys, which helps avoid too much moisture in those trill keys there because of the fact they've been moved up the body, from radially up anyway. Now that's a similar situation to the Lumiere and the Moba, but they aren't quite as pronounced, and they do use standard springs as opposed to those coil springs on the pro level. There is still some undercutting and overcutting going on within the tube, and we should explain what that means maybe is it allows for the even and consistent flow of the air so that you avoid any sort of grey areas and duff. Duff's a bad word, but you know what I mean.
Well, it's those notes that just have resistance and you know, kind of inherently built because of the the nature of the clarinet, you know. But yeah, I mean, you know, the workmanship that they do at Backun really helps to eliminate any of those issues that one might have faced with other instruments, you know, from other manufacturers.
Yeah, so I think from an internal point of view, that's very difficult because you never see it, but there's an awful lot going on in terms of how they shape the bore through the clarinet. And this is of a similar vibe, should we say, to the custom ones, but with slightly less procedural bits going on, which just helps it be more affordable for some people. Has got the carbon fibre rings, which is a great feature on the middle joint there. And Backun do that because they want to allow the instrument to resonate freely. And when you add the metal rings, that can really sort of clamp it, can't it?
That's right, yeah. You know, metal rings really do, like you say, clamp the kind of the vibrations. And I think one of the main concepts, you know, from the Backun total range is to allow full transmission of vibration right from the generator at the top, the mouthpiece and reed, right through to the bottom of the instrument, right out the bell, really. And so, yeah, the carbon fibre rings do that, but also, you know, the fact that there's no other metal other than the keys.
Yeah, that's really important. The traditional barrel and bell come with the Q series, and like Pete mentioned, they've got the wooden tops and bottoms, as it were, and that's all formed from one piece of wood, so they're not attached on. It's all an inherent.
It's all machined.
Yeah, so that again, it just keeps that uniformity and consistency, you know, through the actual vibrating core, shall we say. Like all the Backun models, it has a really nice, strong, adjustable thumb rest on the back with the hook for the sling, because we know a lot of people are starting to do that more and more now with their playing, especially with wooden instruments, because they are a little bit heavier. What it doesn't have is the low F auto correction vent, which you do get on the Lumiere and the Moba, but it does have the voicing groove in the bell, which just cleans up a little bit of the response, should we say, at the low end of the instrument as well.
Yeah, and especially around those bell notes as well, you know, B and C.
Yeah.
as well. It really helps with the projection of those.
So that's just a little cutout that's actually inside the bell. But yeah, so I think if you're a upper level grade, we use the graded system just because it's something for us to get a pitch of level.
yeah.
But if you're at the top end of the grades, off to college, something like that even, or an adult who plays in a really good orchestral situation, but you might have a job doing something else in life, not being a musician, very sensible. This is the kind of thing that will really give you a great feeling of quality without going totally crazy from a cost point of view. But Pete, do you want to give us a little bit more
Sure.
just so we can hear
Sure.
what it can do?